welcome to the swearing-in of Lord Hodge as a Justice of the Supreme Court, and a particularly warm welcome to Penny, Lady Hodge, and other members of Lord Hodge's family, and to his friends, whether they are physically present in the courtroom or watching on the YouTube channel. I would also like specifically to welcome Lord Wallace, the Advocate General for Scotland, and Leslie Thompson, the Solicitor General for Scotland, who is also here representing the Lord Advocate. Lord Hodge had a distinguished career as an advocate in Scotland. He was Standing Junior Counsel to the Department of Energy and to the Inland Revenue in Scotland. And when he took silk in 1996, he subsequently served as a part-time judge of the Courts of Appeal of Jersey and Guernsey. Also, when he was a silk, he was procurator to the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland from 2000 to 2005, and a part-time commissioner of the Scottish Law Commission between 1997 and 2003. Having done his bit for energy, tax, law reform, the church and the Channel Islands, Lord Hodge gave up his successful career at the bar to take up his appointment as a senator of the College of Justice in Scotland in 2005. For the past few years, he has been the judge in charge of the commercial list in Edinburgh. This has been a weighty responsibility, but a responsibility which anybody who has read his judgment will appreciate he has carried out with great distinction. Shortly after his appointment to this court was announced, I happened to meet a number of Scottish advocates. Each of them asked me, somewhat truculently, why I had, to use their word, stolen one of their very best judges. Until June this year, Lord Hodge was a trustee of Edinburgh's David Hume Institute, which specialises in legal and economic aspects of public policy. Hume was, of course, a splendid philosopher, economist, and historian. One of his aphorisms was, "Nature, by an absolute and uncontrollable necessity, has determined us to judge as well as to breathe and feel." Well, although the atmosphere here may at times appear a little rarefied, Lord Hodge will find that we have time to breathe and feel as well as to judge. Outside the law, Lord Hodge's interests are opera, golf, and skiing. So his appointment does not only involve him joining 3 other former law commissioners in the Supreme Court, he also joins an intrepid band of skiers and also, some might say, a rather less intrepid band of golfers in the Supreme Court. A few years ago, I'm told that Lord Hodge had the misfortune to break his leg. Everyone assumed that it was as a result of a skiing accident, or possibly, I suppose, some mistaken swing on the golf course. But no, it resulted from his falling off a ladder when trying to get something out of a cupboard for his wife at home. In joining the Supreme Court, he's reached the top of the judicial ladder, and we, his new colleagues, enthusiastically welcome him and promise to stop him falling off this particular ladder. The more formal welcome which you're about to witness is a relatively short and simple ceremony, but no less important for that. I will invite Lord Hodge to come forward to take the oath of allegiance to Her Majesty, the Queen, and the judicial oath. He will then sign the oath book and put on the robes of a Justice of the Supreme Court. I will then invite him to take his seat as a Justice of the Supreme Court before we all process out for what might be called a team photograph. I hope and expect that Lord Hodge will enjoy his time as a Justice of the Supreme Court. On behalf of all of his new colleagues, I wish him very well. I invite you, Lord Hodge, to come forward to take the oaths as required by law.
I, Patrick Stuart Hodge, do swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and successors, according to law. I, Patrick Stuart Hodge, do swear by Almighty God that I will well and truly serve our Sovereign Lady, Queen Elizabeth, in the office of Justice of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, and I will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of this realm, without fear or favour, affection or ill will.
I now invite you to sign the oaths book. And there are 2 pens in case one of them doesn't work properly. I have great pleasure in presenting you with your letters patent. It's rather heavy.
Thank you.
I now invite you to take your seat on the bench as a Justice of the Supreme Court with the judicial title of Lord Hodge. Well, thank you all very much indeed for coming. The court will now adjourn.